Kathy here from Kathyskutekreations. Today is week 3. Can you believe it's already the 3rd week in October? Unbelievable how the time has flown by. So has everybody been having fun with all their block making and learning all the new tips and tricks and just having fun in general? Well, we're also going to have fun this week. So we are going to be putting together a couple of other blocks. So 3 total. Let's get started. Here are the colors laid out here on my little design board, and we're going to be making this one. This is the one I'm going to start with right there. So let's go ahead and put it together. Alrighty, so they want us to lay out the white 2.5-inch square and the black one, and then the white and black 2.5 by 5. Now for all of you that are just now tuning in, this is a free pattern, y'all. You don't need to be watching all these videos so that you can get the sizes and everything. Go on over there to the Fort Worth Fabric Studios and print out a pattern. It's free. Okay, and then you can do it, and you can follow along. There's quite a few of us online that is doing the videos. This is really a pretty pumpkin. Let's go ahead and we're going to mark diagonally on our 2-inch square here. So flip it over, make sure you have the right side. And I think that was upside down, if I'm not mistaken. Put another light on. Yep, it was upside down. Okay, right side up. Alrighty, and just mark it diagonally, just like we've been doing all along. We're going to put this black one. We want it on our white fabric, and we want the black to be in this right-hand corner. So we're going to go and we're going to do it this way so that when it's sewn, you flip it up, it's like that. And as for the white, it's going to go in this corner. So we're going to want to do it this way to flip it up like that when it's done. So let's go ahead and make these. Remember, when you sew these, you want to make sure and not start up here at the tip. You want to go here to the side, so that it doesn't go down inside your machine. You can always use a leader ender if you need to. I've got the same size stitch, 2.5, a 12-inch needle, and I'm just using white thread for my project. There we go. You're going to go ahead and you're going to cut it apart. Then we're going to iron it open. Now take your 4 2-inch squares, and then you're going to put your diagonal line on them, just like before. And you're going to take your 3 Q's, which are your 3.5 by 2, and you're going to put 1 so that when it opens up, it goes on the left-hand corner, just like the square, which is your 3.5 by 4-inch square. Then on the other 2, they're going to go the other direction. All right, I hope this is working. My camera's acting a little funny there. It had like a hesitation. I looked and made sure that I've got it all correct. We'll go ahead and we'll chain stitch these. Let's cut these. So when you're finished, this is what you'll have right there. We're going to set it aside. Begin building our pumpkin. So we're going to use our 2.5 by 1.5 inch little white corner on the left here. We're going to take the 2 black ones that we've already made and make sure that you've got them in the right direction. So the white has to be here at the bottom, down at the bottom, and the black has to be up here at the top. Here's our piece from another leftover piece, so that's our 2.5-inch square. And now the next row is going to have one of the long strips. They're on the right and the left of the pumpkin. So put it there. Hopefully I can get it all on here. I'm not sure, but let's just hang it off to the side. And now we're going to take our square that we made, and this white has to go up to match that white up there. Okay, not going to be perfect here. And then we're going to take our, it looks like, hold on, let me find out what color that is. Put it together like your picture shows. This is what you should have. Now, if you notice, on this top row here, those colors are the same that are on the bottom down here. So this is the pieces that we made. Then we have this color here. And then we've swapped these colors because we made a square up there. So this color is this color and this one is that color. All right. And of course, now if you don't want to do it in those colors, you can always change it around. You can put a different color. You could put another one of these in there if you wanted to. So let's go ahead and sew this, and I'm going to sew the very top row. Then I'm going to sew each of the rows before I put the side on. So this row, these two. Remember, just like the last time, we'll have to sew these together to connect them. So do whatever you want, but I'm going to show you the top row, and then each one of these rows will get, and then we'll have our pumpkin and our top one, and then we'll put our sides on next. Now, wherever I don't need to use a pin, I'm not going to use a pin, and I've got this upside down so my other end won't flip on me. And I'm doing the 1/4 inch. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to match the next two together. Connect the next two, and that entire top row should be done here. On to row 2. And now I'm attaching the two pieces together. The right section, the left section on row 2. And on row 3, we're going to be doing the top and the right piece together. That's on the very right hand side of this strip that gets attached to the square. Now I have the two left pieces put together. Same row. And I pin this one in the middle because I don't want my seam to be flipped over, and I didn't want to turn it upside down. That caught that. There we go. Now it caught it. But you can turn yours upside down if you want and sew it that way. Now we're coming on this last row. This is sewn up pretty easy. I'm just about to lose my 1/4 inch line on my sewing machine. Anybody got any suggestions on a white pencil of some sort to make a mark? Maybe I should be using a felt tip Sharpie, because here's my line and I can barely see it now. Before I iron this one open, I'm going to go ahead and match the two up that I just did, that I chain stitched. I'm going to sew them together and then put my last piece on. Before we put anything else together, here's what I have. All of the rows are sewn together. Now we're just going to go ahead and attach our rows. So I'm going to put the first row to the second row. And let me see. I don't think there's anywhere that we have to be careful of. Now we want to nestle right here on this one set there. And then when we get down here below, we have some nestling to do. We have this corner and we have this corner, so make sure the direction of your fabric is going the way you want. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the back, and hopefully I can keep this flipped this way and not turn this over. So if I have to, I'll turn this one over because I want to keep this exposed so I can see that when I have to attach it to whatever I'm attaching to it next. Okay, so we're ready for the top and the middle section to be together. I went ahead and I pinned them all. Nothing needs to be marked on this. Let's make sure nothing needs to be marked. Yep, nothing needs to be marked. Not worried about any tips or anything. Let's pin the next one. Alrighty. Now I'm going to attach this bottom row to our body. Now if you got a little bit of extra fabric like I have here, a little bit, just tug a little bit on it. Stretches it out a little bit, but not a lot. Last week I wanted to do a bit of a voiceover, but my software's changed on me, so I couldn't do it. It totally changed the way that I have to edit now. Between my phone and my computer. It should be this far where we're going to need to put the top on. But first we have to do the left side and the right side. So we're going to pin that and put that on. That shouldn't take but a minute. And then when we get to the top part, that's when we're going to have to be watching, I believe, for this little spot right here, and I'll show you how to mark that along with that one. Okay, I went ahead and I pinned it on both sides, and hopefully these pins are not going to be attacking me, because for some reason when I do a little bit more than I need to be doing, I get stuck. They turn into evil pins. None of this stuff has to be off the table. That's when it really gets me. What do is attach that top to the bottom, and let me show you how we're going to mark it to keep from losing our tip. Fabric right side down, and then put your ruler where your seam is at. And I don't know why every time I try to show y'all something, I get this gobbledygook, and now I'm wondering if my stitch needs to be redone. Hold on. See where these two intersections cross? You want to stay right above it. So just draw a line. This is your sewing line. Now, this is a friction pin, so it will disappear. And when you're done marking that one, this one over here needs to be marked. Right there. And do the same thing. Put my pin down. Find out where the spot is at, and then slowly mark it. And then that's where I will sew. Now I'm going to pin it, and then I'm going to flip my fabric, and I'll show you how to do that here in a minute. Okay, so this is where we're going to do our sewing on both sides. Okay, so I'm going to start here before the line, and by the time I get to this pin, which is right here, I'm going to stop, because this next part right here has got another mark on it, so they're like right next to each other. So let me do that first so I can make sure that I don't take my tips off. And I'll stop right here, and I'll take it off. I see that I did not sew it over far enough, so I have a lot of room. Let me see here. Okay, so I have that one down. There we go, I caught that. And then I can come over further. For some reason, I did not go over enough. Let's see if that's going to work. I'm going to look on both sides here. All right, let's check. Alright, so here's the part, you can see it very lightly. This was my first line of sewing when I had it on the other side, but I flipped it over. When I looked at it and I took it off the sewing machine, I saw where my line was down further because I went above my line. So then I went ahead and I thought I would chance it, and I'd go ahead and sew over this and just keep on coming this 1/4 inch and then look at it. So let's take a look at it. Let me take this pin out of that. So here's what you're looking for. You're looking at this point here. That's fine, I didn't take it off. And this point here, the orange one. And I didn't take it off either. So I'm okay with both of those. Now all I got to do is just finish sewing this. Back far enough on this thread here that I don't need to lock it in place. But if you feel like you got to lock it in place, that's fine. Alrighty, so when you're finished, that's what you will have. So let's go on to the second one. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to do the next pumpkin. We're going to take 2 of the 3.5 inch square whites, and we're going to take the 2 different colors, which are P and Q of our rectangles, the 6.5 by 3.5. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to connect them. Go ahead and mark them just like we did before. And then we're going to put them like this. One like that. And the other one like that. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to change stitch those. Let's get that done first. Oh, but wait, there's more. We're going to go ahead and we're going to take our 4.5 inch white piece of fabric. We're going to put the dots down the middle so that we can sew a seam on each side. So that we're going to end up with 2 half square triangles. And we're going to be using our Q, same size. Put them right sides together. We might as well chain stitch that, and then we can just build the pumpkin from there. So let's do we had a Ronco commercial there. And there's more, and there's more. And wait, one more thing, or the sharp knives, or whatever you call it, that you used to see on TV all the time. So let's go ahead and sew this. Just put your ruler diagonally across here. Make sure it's off of both ends. You know, I'm wondering if that's big enough. I think that might be big enough to make another half square triangle. So let me stop and take that back over there and sew. I marked it. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sew on this line. The reason I'm doing this is so that I'll have a future half square triangle to use in another whatever I want to use it in. And after I got over there and got ready to cut it, that's when I realized it looked like it was big enough to use. Because you know, you can always cut it down. Always make it a smaller one. Okay, so now I'm going to cut between the two lines. And then I'll open them up and I'll show y'all. Alrighty. A little extra 2.5 square triangles. I mean 2.5. I didn't even measure them. I don't know what size they are.
Probably 3-inch.
They're 2 7/8, which is 2 3/4. But we can knock it down to 2.5 if we need to. I'm just going to set those aside. And you should have 2 half square triangles and 2 rectangles. Now, let's see where the directions are so I can see if we have to cut down the triangles. I mean the half square triangles, not the triangles, or the rectangles. Oh my gosh, why don't I just name everything? Okay, so they want us to trim the blocks down to 3.5. So you can either use your lock block or you can use your ruler, and I'm going to use the ruler. And I'm going to get my little pad out here. Instead of getting my rotating pad, we'll just use this one here. And I will use this 4.5-inch ruler. So let me get you a little closer here so you can see it better. There we go. And we want to take off a little bit, because you know me, I take a little bit off of the top and the side first.
That's how you roll.
Let's make sure you're in the camera here. There we go. And then 3.5 is right there. And there's a 3.5-inch block. Let's do the other one. Okay. Rotate my little mat. And go to 3.5. There we go. Alright, so now we have those. So let's start building our block. Alrighty, let's build a pumpkin. And my granddaughter's here in the room with me, and I don't know why I said 7/8 inch was the same as, what was the measurement?
3/4.
3/4 inch.
It's not the same. It's very different. Learn some Antarctica math.
So let's, now I'm just going by the picture, y'all.
Yeah, y'all.
Them there's fighting words. Girl. Girly girl.
I don't have no fighting words. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, what's my color goes in there? Oh no, here it is. On
Oh,
top of
no,
another
I
color, and it was
found it.
blending in. So this one was right on top of the other color.
Oh, man.
Same exact color, and I didn't even see it.
I was done
The
with
rectangle was bigger than the square. Alrighty, so now we need a R. I call it polka dot.
this. R.
Yeah, the letter R.
Thought you were trying to be a pirate for a second. R. Is the fabric I need, mateys.
And then I need polka dot, which I got in there. And I need one of those flowers. This is where that one goes, right there. Okay, so that goes like that. And then, I think my thing is down too far. Here I was worried about it not being able to get in the picture. There we go. So,
Ta-da! Let's build a pumpkin.
okay, so I need this one here. This is that grunge color right there. And then the one strip, which is a really pretty flower, the light orange flower. And that goes right there. All right, so I feel like I'm missing, oh, here's a piece right here. Okay. And this little one with the polka dot grunge has to go up here. There we go. That is our pumpkin. Now, he doesn't have any top to him. So we're going to do each row. So I'm going to do row 1. And then I'm going to, let's see, what am I going to do? Huh?
You're gonna go crazy for
Well,
grease of lightning.
I'm trying to think. Are we going to do Y seams on this? What are we doing?
It doesn't look like it.
All right, so I'm going to do these two to this,
Bold choice.
and then you're funny.
Thank you, I tried.
Let's go ahead and do these two. I'm trying to see how to do this.
Yes, you do that while I dig in my
Okay, so I'm discussing how to put this together with Megan, who is a new sewer.
So
All right, so give your suggestion.
I
now.
would sew this top all together.
Okay,
Maybe sew those two together.
okay,
Sew that to here.
okay.
Sew this to that.
Well, now, if I sew this to that, that's going to be not sewn, because you just told me to do the whole entire top.
Yeah, because then once this is together and this is with it, then those two together. You're shaking your head, and I'm
Well,
gonna reach for more
explain to
M&Ms.
me how, okay, explain to me how you're going to do that.
I don't know, with the sewing machine.
No, explain to me how you're going to put this together, and that's not going to be connected right there. If you do this entire top all by itself, okay, you know that you can't connect these because this is extending into this. So don't you think that the best thing to do would go from here over?
Oh
do
wait, what
these
if you
three?
do this? Hold on.
Okay,
Hold on. So you've got this. How much of this board can they see?
they can see all that board.
Okay. So that would get together.
Okay.
They would have a
Nah,
little,
I'm not going to do that.
they would have a little fun time.
They don't want to have any fun time, not like that.
Ma'am. Ma'am.
Okay, give your suggestion and I'll give you my suggestion. Well, actually, I'll just tell you how I'm going to do it when you get done.
Okay,
honest
disregard
with
my
you.
suggestion.
No, go ahead,
Fine.
but do your suggestion so we can
Sure,
see what you're
sure.
talking about. Okay.
Okay. Put those two together.
Okay, so that makes sense. The square in the middle.
I don't know how you would get the long pieces though. Those
That's why that's not the best way to do it. So the best way to do it would be to take these three and connect them. Do this, like you said, put these together.
Yeah.
Put this with this, and it can go to that. And put these two together, and then they can go with that. Then take this and sew this together, and then connect it to that.
See, if you know how to do it, why are you acting like you don't?
I'm not saying I don't have your perspective as a person looking at it whose eyes are fresh and hasn't done it before. How would you do it? And then you're getting yourself
Exactly. I looked
stumped.
at for all of 2 seconds and you go, no, that's wrong, that's wrong. I'm just going to wallow over here in my M&Ms.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put
We're going
these
to do it
together.
her way.
Then we're gonna put these together, and then we're gonna connect these to this, and then this to this, and then these two together, and then we're gonna set it down and we're gonna look
You
at
know
it.
what you need? A pointer so they can see what you're pointing to. Oh, here we go. Oh, I got a pointer too, y'all.
Here's a pointer.
Here's a pointer, y'all. So, I don't know what you're doing.
I just explained the whole thing. They're gonna watch, and they're gonna pick theirs up, or they're gonna do theirs a different way, because they
They'll
can
do
do
it-
it a different way.
They'll do it my way.
If they do it your way, then they have Y seams and they need to know and understand Y seams in order to connect it so they don't get frustrated.
How about in a video you can show us how to do a Y seam? Because I don't know how to do that either. So.
Okay.
Okay.
It won't be today.
No, it'll be tonight.
It won't be tonight. All right, let me get to work. Last video I was asking if you knew what to mark for this little 1/4 because it's fading. Actually, when I was editing the video, I could see it better if I'm looking in this direction than looking straight at it. Because what it's doing when I look straight at it is this part is right over my bobbin, which is white. And it's this part that's the clear part that's all worn off. I'm hoping this block comes together easy, just like the last one did. I'm back and I'm working on the second row of the left side. Well, the two that you got to attach together before you can put it to the one on the left. And I was going to go ahead and I was going to do those 3 pieces at the top. But when I laid it out, I didn't notice that I had cut one of my half square triangles too small. And of course, I'm out of that fabric. So I had to make it another color. I was going to make it purple. I was vetoed for that. I don't want to make it the the orange with the black that looks like spider webs, because the piece that comes underneath it would blend right into it. I couldn't have used the 2 pieces that were on the top because it would have blended into them. So my next choice was to use this here. So that's what I've chose to put at the corner instead of the darker. I am attaching the 2 middle pieces to the top piece. The 2 that I had to sew together, I had to attach them together before I could do it to the top part. And then we're going to do the left-hand side. That's considered the second row in this pumpkin. The first row I had to stop on. So therefore, I'm going to use the flowered for the corners. And now I turned around and sewed the middle section wrong. And now I'm going to correct that. And I'm going to sew it correctly. So I'm using the orange with the, I'm calling them spider webs on the inside. And I'm pinning that. And that's not good at all. All right, let's take a look.
Would you like?
Alrighty, so this is where we're at so far. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this to this and this to this so that I've got it sitting there. And then we're going to sew this one and this set and then this one here. Thank you. Now, the top corner is the one that I accidentally cut at 3 instead of 3.5. So I changed both those on the right as well as on the left. And then I cut this incorrectly. I didn't cut it long enough. It was wide enough, but it wasn't long enough. So I had to add to it because I've run out of this fabric. Now let's get started sewing. All right, let's go ahead and do this. I flipped this upside down so it wouldn't get hung up on that little bottom piece of the half square triangle. Now iron this and set this one aside, and then we'll go ahead and we'll do our rows. Now I'm going to be sewing the top 2 rows. And I'm going to, before I even iron this, I'm going to go ahead and pin the next row on. Don't forget, any kind of nestling you need to be doing to keep them straight, go ahead and do that. There was one on this, and there was one on the last one. I'm going to iron it before I put my strip on, the side strip. So this is what it looks like before we attach that to that. And there's nothing you need to be watching out for. There's not any tips or anything on that. So just do the nestling here for each of these seams. Alrighty, now we're finishing it up. Alrighty, pumpkin number 2 is done. Now let's get to that cat. Now we're ready for the cat head.
Meow.
Thank you, kitty. And the first thing, of course, it wants us to do is take our black 3.5 by 3.5 and our white 3.5 by 3.5, and we're going to make 2 half square triangles. So you're going to flip this over, you're going to mark it and then we're going to sew them first, and then we will assemble the block. Alrighty, let's go ahead and sew this. This is the only piece we've got to sew. All the rest are already cut out for us, and all we got to do is put it together. This is going to be the fastest block here. Whip it on over here. Okay, no whipping. No punishment. No abuse. So we want to cut this 2.5 inches. And I want to be extra, extra careful. Because I think I've messed up every block, or close to every block I've made in this thing here. Oh my gosh. Okay. There we go. And then you got 2.5 inch squares. And now we're going to put the cat together. So let's set it up on the board. The layout of our kitty cats. So let's begin. We're going to sew these 3 together first. Then we'll sew it to that one. Then we'll sew the right one to that, the left one to that, and then the top to that. All right, I've switched it to upside down so my fabric doesn't fold over on itself. I have it on the side where I can watch it, because the seam is going downward right there. And I'm going to iron it open. I'm putting the part that I sewed to the black section. Alrighty, so I have pinned this side here so I don't lose my tips. And I pinned that side there so I don't lose my tip. And I went ahead and pinned both sides, so this is what it looks like, because I need to be able to see it as I pin it. Otherwise I'm actually sewing it blind. Let's get started. This sure has been a fun quilt. I can't wait to put it together next week. The time seemed like it went so fast making it. And now that they've thought outside the box when they made this one, which is what I'm calling it, because it's nothing like their other ones, I'm wondering what they're going to do for the next one. Let's go ahead and iron. If there's a will, there's a way, and somehow I managed to put it on upside down. So I'm doing it again. So this is what I do, is I take out part of it. I don't take the whole thing out. I just take part of it out. This has the mistake on it, and re-sew it. You know, sometimes I wonder why things happen a certain way. Whoops, and I did not mark my points here, so let's put a little mark here so I see where it's at. There we go, right there, right here. I'll put it down a little further. There we go. I got done, I took a look at it, and I thought, my ears are kind of wacko-lonny. I think when I went to put it together, I flipped it over wrong. Now I'll iron this open and attach what's left here. Ears are going in the right direction. He looks like the top half of Batman. Now we're going to put this white strip on the top of this strip here. Don't forget, you got to mark your tips there where the ears are at. This is a deja vu since I'm sewing this exact side. Okay, there's our cat head. Let's see if I can get them all on the design wall here for you. So there's the one pumpkin. There's the other pumpkin. And here is the cat head. So I have put all but the multiples of the stars up here. So I hope you guys like this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. That was the first week. This was the second week. Right there. And this is the third week. Including down here. Because it's not big enough. Hope you like this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Subscribe if you haven't. And I'll see you next week for the assembly, which will be fantastic. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.